instead of looking to a dusty old textbook that was written in the 60s with design parameters on how are we going to ventilate barns, why don't we just look to what we know works? And those are hutch calves. A lot of why calf barns are being built is the population of farmers are aging. They're my parents' age commonly in their mid-60s. And I was out on a farm one time and the wife looked at her husband and said, "Honey, here's the deal. I have fed your calves in outdoor hutches for 40 years. I don't want to be out in the cold anymore. Build me a barn or get a younger wife, but I'm telling you it would be cheaper if you built me a barn." We laugh about that, but I really think that is a large driver, a primary reason why calf barns are being built today is for feeder comfort. I think every farmer's experience would suggest that calves are healthier in outdoor hutches, and certainly research supports that as well. Calf hutches provide wonderful housing. In fact, it's the lowest rates of pneumonia in any housing style, but the feeders don't like feeding in them. Across our industry, when you compare even the most modernly ventilated calf barns, they are still generally experiencing higher respiratory disease rates compared to their hutch-raised counterparts. And the question has to be asked, why is that? And when you really drill down on it, it doesn't actually even make sense that hutch calves are healthier because they're exposed to colder temperatures in the winter or mucky conditions in the spring. They're exposed to more heat stress in the summer, but yet they're healthier. When they step out of that hutch, they have an unlimited volume of fresh air to breathe. And we just believe that as an industry, we've been underventilating calf barns for decades. Sometimes people say things like, "I understand I need ventilation in the winter, but I don't want too much air." They'll say, "I don't want too much air," okay? The question we ask is, what is too much air? You look at a calf outside, it is surrounded by an infinite volume of fresh air to breathe. Is that too much air? Has any dairy farmer in the history of dairy farming woken up in a January morning and said, "We have got to run outside and cover all these calves and hutches up with a tarp. My goodness, they have too much fresh air to breathe"? No one's ever done that. How could you have too much volume? I think what our industry really means is to separate volume and speed. The problem when it's cold out is speed. Calves cannot withstand a draft when it's cold. Volume and speed, two very, very different things. If it's not drafty on the calf, can a calf have too much fresh air to breathe? And we argue no. The foundational research done in 2006 by Dr. Nordland and his team at the University of Wisconsin Vet School looked at positive pressure tube ventilation with 4 air exchanges per hour, and they saw a dramatic reduction in respiratory disease when they went to that 4 time an hour exchange rate. The question we have is, what happens if you did 6 air exchanges, or 8, or 10, or 12? There's no research after 4 air exchanges per hour. What exists over here is a giant question mark. We have farms that are doing 6, 8, and even 10 barn volume changes an hour in the dead of winter. We are seeing steadily decreasing pneumonia rates. But the key is having a system that can provide that level of air exchange in a safe, non-drafty manner. When we talk about ventilating barns with 8 or 10 volume changes an hour in the winter, that can be scary to some people because they're worried about their calves being cold. Calves in outdoor hutches in the winter are experiencing cold temperatures too. It's not so much about keeping the barn warm, it's more about keeping the calf warm. And we keep calves warm in cold environments by doing really good bedding with long stem, lofty straw so they can nestle into it and stay warm. Of course, using calf jackets and feeding a lot of calories. So all of a sudden the idea of bringing in cold, fresh air from outside isn't such a problem for calves because we're keeping them warm and we're ventilating the calf space in a manner that's not drafty. I just think we need to challenge the status quo on ventilation design parameters and where they sit now. Our philosophy is to create an indoor environment that is as close to mimicking the high quality fresh air that a calf has to breathe in an outdoor hutch. We have the team, the technology, and the passion to bring solutions to your calf barn. We believe in providing the best quality ventilation systems and investing in the health of your calves. If you believe what we believe, please contact Crystal Creek.